And we are live. So just compiled a short list of questions for today. So let's get started. If you have questions, just leave them in the chat and I'll get to them when I see them. Let's say my bench rep range is 6 to 8. I'm doing 135 pounds. I've reached 8 reps for all working sets and I'm ready to go up in weight by 5 pounds. I also go back to 6 reps trying to work my way up to 8 reps. Good idea. Wouldn't the 6 rep of 140 pounds be ineffective or lower in volume compared to 8 of 135? Not sure how to explain, but hopefully someone gets it. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused, but it sounds like you want to just keep. It sounds that you think that at a lower weight, even though it's 5 pounds, 8 reps there is better than 6 reps at 140 pounds, which is true. But then I think you have to think about the long term vision of the program, which is that you are increasing the weight while keeping the reps steady. Right now, you want to do double progression, which is very ambitious for a beginner, and you can do it. But then again, you have to think about what your program goal is and how you want to implement it. So, for example, most programs keep the rep ranges the same and just increase the weight. For you, you might want to implement that because it has been tested and trialed for many decades. And why reinvent the wheel when something is already working? Second question: is it normal to not lose a lot of weight during body recomposition, like deficit 10% below maintenance? What's the accurate? Okay, let's answer that question first. 10%. 10% for me is I eat around 2,800 calories, so 280 calories. That's a decent amount. And if you're a lighter female or lighter male, that you're gonna definitely see drastic changes. But if you are a heavier male, I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't sweat that small detail. What's the most accurate way of measuring body fat percentage? Gold standard is the DEXA scan. You have to go to the clinic and then see if they have the machine, and then just get your results in. Is it normal that 3 days ago I could shoulder dumbbell press 10 times, uh, 24 kilograms, but only do 6 times of 24 kilograms? Yeah. I mean, it could be an off day today. It could be that you're unable to progress. Tons of different factors. You're not mentally prepared. You, you you're just tired, or maybe you just hit a plateau. There's just tons of reasons. Does it mean I am not progressing, overloading properly? Answer that. Is it okay to bulk with only a surplus of 10% of maintenance? Yeah, that's good. In fact, that's a little even ambitious. Maybe even 5% if you want to really take your time, but 10% is fine. I've been only going to the gym for about 3 months. Am I a beginner? And you're asking about newbie gains. So most beginners, for me, I had my newbie gains from anywhere at least 6 months to a year. So yeah, you're good. But if you're thinking about trying to do programs because you're new, I think that you should just focus on having fun, doing what you're interested in and goal setting. So once you cover that, you wouldn't worry about if you're in the gym 3 months, 3 years. Yeah, that the time aspect wouldn't be a factor. Okay. What do you think is better for hypertrophy? Ring push-ups or classic push-ups on the ground? I've added some weighted calisthenics in my routine. I heard ring push-ups are GOAT because you can squeeze the chest at the bottom and more range of motion. But I don't know. I feel better pumped with weighted push-ups on the ground. I feel stronger pushing from the chest with the rings. I feel like I'm using too much core stabilization, but you don't know what's better for growth. Well, for ring push-ups, you definitely activate more of the smaller muscles, so more stability is involved. Whereas when you do weighted push-ups off the ground, you don't require as much stability, so you can work the major muscle groups. So in terms of growth, you will probably see more growth in your major muscle groups. So the weighted push-ups will see more gains in terms of that, but Adding the ring push-ups for stability, to train the small muscle groups to make sure that your joints, ligaments, tendons are all nice and healthy, are strong enough to withstand all the volume you're doing. That's also important too, and it's not talked about a lot in bodybuilding. That you need to train the smaller muscle groups before you train the bigger muscle groups, because if you're injured, you're not training anything at all. So adding these small exercises that train have a different purpose other than for growth is very important and understated, in my opinion. Recently, I added Muay Thai to my routine. My previous routine is 3 times full body a week, and there's some additional activities like football Thursday and Sunday. I have a big schedule. Due to the low level of football, I'm getting a lot of injuries and decided to quit. Okay. Now for Muay Thai classes, you enjoy them? Good. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday after those classes, I'm experiencing quite a bit of muscle soreness. I'm not really sure how I can fit in these full body exercises. Sounds like you want to work out while doing Muay Thai. My goal is to get a more athletic physique, lose fat and try to retain my muscle as much as I can. Besides doing Muay Thai 3 times a week, is there anything I should add to my weekly routine? Depends on you. So it sounds like your goal is to get a more athletic physique. So you gotta treat Muay Thai as your cardio, and which it should be secondary to your gym routine, which is the primary muscle builder and the way you're going to round out your physique. So if you find that Muay Thai is taking a toll on your body in terms of recovery, you might want to reevaluate. I know it's fun and that's important, and not to undervalue that, but off your goal, if you want more athletic physique to retain muscle and lose fat, I think that going to the gym and doing the compound full body lifts will help you more in that regard. And the cardio will help you lose fat. And in terms of retain muscle, that's in the dieting realm and a combination package, making sure your nutrition, sleep, recovery is on point. So really, it's about this is really a tricky situation to be in, because you have to make sure that your Muay Thai progress is not killing you to the point where you cannot work out efficiently at the gym. So just and this is more monitoring needs to be needed, and you need to just self-analyze. Am I the only one who feels bothered when you eat carbs on a rest day? Used to bother me when I eat a little too much, but now I've realized and value having carbs and making sure I get enough actually, but not exceeding over what I should be eating, of course. In the fact that I'm binging, but I need to eat carbs every single day to make that point very concise. How do I maintain my head position when I'm squatting 3 feet in front of a blank wall? Can't look the distance ahead of me, so my gaze would want to travel along the wall, which makes it hard to keep my head steady. So in my garage gym, if I face the wall, I would also have very little space, so I actually face away from the wall. I look at something else. That's has been my fix. Maybe you would want to implement that if the wall is just too close to you. Otherwise, you just have to increase your focus. Maybe actually put a mark or some kind of figure to help you stabilize where you're looking at, because blank wall is just blank, and there's just no point for your eyes to rest on. So your eyes are just confused and just trying to look everywhere. So that can be difficult to balance yourself vestibularly and visually. Actually, you started high bar squatting, you did slow bar with lower back issues, and I haven't. You probably made a bad habit of looking up. I think that's just molar. Instead of looking straight away, it's awkward looking up to help keep my chest up. I think this is just a form issue. You just got practice. You're breathing correctly. You're bracing while implementing the correct head position that you want to implement, and that should correct itself. That's not a big fix, but it does require some due diligence because it sounds like you have in your mind something you want to do with your head position in squatting. So you just gotta make sure it's corrected while you do while you do high bar squats. 8. Are there any good 3-day programs? You ran 531 for beginners for a while and couldn't go back to that. Okay, because it says I'm not a complete beginner anymore. Yeah, currently running Ensigns, but you find it that it's average and you don't like to go 4 times a week. You like 531 for beginners for its simplicity. 2x compounds plus 300 reps split between push pull core 3 times a week. I like starting strength. I like Grayskull OP. I like Mad Cow. I even like modified Texas method. 531's good too. You could still run 531. It's yeah, 531 for me was you could run the intermediate version. So that would be that's one option. And any of the ones I ran before, it's just you just gotta find something you like. There's just thousands of programs, and I just listed 4 or 5 already, and that's just the ones I ran. And because I ran them, that's because I like them. So you just gotta do some more research, look at the ones I've done. Mine's basically suits you what your question is asking. Simplicity, bam, hit the compound movements, very little accessories, done. Next day. Okay, next question. Planning to start my fitness journey today. Congrats. 6 foot, 165 pounds, looking to bulk, get bigger arms and chest. Any tips? Yes, figure out your maintenance calories, track that for a week. Yep, you're downloaded MyFitnessPal, but you don't know how to measure your calories. You spend it through exercise. I think that you should focus on how many calories you are you are eating so that for your height and your weight currently, and then see if that's accurate for an entire week, and then you can make a change for the following weeks when you make sure that make sure once you got that number make and then you implement a surplus, see if that matches, and then you should be gaining around 1 pound, half a pound if you want to really make this lean bulk very effective, and then just work your way from there. It's really trial and error. People got it down to science, but because you're starting new, this might be something that you haven't experienced a lot of the nuances. So just take your time with it, 1 day at a time, and just have fun with it. Congrats. How do vertical and horizontal pull affect back differently? Example: T-bar rows with elbows flared and a wide grip lat pull down. They're both for upper back. What is the difference? Well, for most horizontal pulls, you're activating your mid and lower back. So you're also activating the muscles that help you retract your scapula. And for upper back, you're really just pulling down, activating your lats from that angle. It's an angle issue. Well, not an issue, it's an angle difference. And and a lot of the barbell lifts are different in that way. So you have the bench press that is horizontal, and you have the overhead press, which is vertical. So it's just different ways to look at it. Some people find that training these separately and increasing the mind body connection really helps them. For me, I don't really see that in a way, see it in the same light. Actually, I focus more on the increasing my 1 rep max totals and accessories if if they actually help supplement the main exercise I'm training, and I see direct carryover will help, and I would implement them. But usually, I'm just focusing on what works, and specificity is number one in terms of increasing and getting closer to your goal for 1 rep max. So that's that question about horizontal and vertical pull. Okay, great. So that's it for the questions on the list for this morning. If you have more questions, just leave them in the chat. I can answer them later. And then I'll catch you guys next time.